Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're taking a spin through the world of dream cars. And let me tell you, these aren't your everyday sedans. We're looking at a list from the top 10s, a website that ranks, well, pretty much everything you can think of.
And it's fascinating to see what rises to the top when it comes to these automotive fantasies.
For sure. And what we're really diving into today is what a dream car actually means.
Right.
Because it's different for everyone.
Absolutely. For some, it might be pure speed.
Right.
For others, maybe luxury is the name of the game.
And then there are those who yearn for the nostalgia of a classic. But no matter what gets your motor running, I think we can all agree that the allure of a dream car is, well, it's powerful stuff. So let's jump right into it with the car that claims the #1 spot, the Bugatti Veyron.
Ah, the Veyron. A true legend.
No kidding. It's the kind of car that makes headlines, and looking through the comments, it's clear that this one sparked a lot of debate.
Well, when it first hit the scene back in 2005, it pretty much rewrote the rule book for supercars. We're talking over 250 miles per hour.
Whoa.
A 16-cylinder engine with a mind-blowing 1,001 horsepower.
That's just insane. And it seems like everyone had something to say about it, from its record-breaking speed to the wait a minute, hold on. A lot of people were surprised to find out that Bugatti is actually French.
It's true.
I always thought it was German.
It's part of the Volkswagen Group, sure.
Right.
But its roots are firmly planted in Molsheim, France.
Well, you learn something new every day. But okay, let's move on to another European beauty with a story that's just as captivating as its performance.
Wow.
The Lamborghini Murcielago.
Now, there's a car that lives up to its name.
Seriously, this Italian bull, car. Sorry, I got a little carried away there.
No worries, it happens.
But seriously, this car, with its aggressive styling and that heart-stopping V12 engine, it's a dream come true for many.
And the story behind that name, Murcielago, adds another layer of intrigue. It was named after a fighting bull.
Oh, right. I read about that in the comments. A bull that survived, 24 sword strokes in a bullfight.
Unbelievable, right? The Matador was so impressed by its resilience that he spared the bull's life.
Talk about a legend.
Yeah.
And speaking of legends, we got to talk about the Ferrari Enzo, a car named after the founder himself.
This one was all about bringing Formula One technology to the streets. Pure performance.
And it did not disappoint. The Enzo is a track-focused beast with a 6.0-liter V12 engine, pushing out 651 horsepower, and that 0 to 60 time. Something like 3.1 seconds.
Just about. It was a masterpiece of engineering.
Definitely. Of course, we can't talk about dream cars without getting into that age-old debate, Ferrari versus Lamborghini.
The comment section was definitely fired up about this one.
No surprise there. It's a rivalry for the ages.
For some, it's Ferrari's elegance and racing heritage that wins them over.
And for others, Lamborghini's more aggressive. In-your-face styling is it's just too hard to resist.
And someone pointed out something interesting. Ferrari has a wider range of styles. Yeah, while Lamborghini sticks to a more consistent design language across their models.
Hadn't thought of it like that. But it's true. Lamborghini has a certain look.
They know what they like and they stick with it, but both brands have their own unique appeal. That's what makes this debate so fun.
Totally. Okay, let's jump from Italy to Sweden, the land of, well, meatballs and flat-pack furniture, but also the home of Koenigsegg. And the Agera R, which, man, this thing is a rocket.
It certainly is.
When it debuted back in 2011, it was all about rewriting the performance rulebook.
A 5.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine generating over 1,100 horsepower and an estimated top speed of, well, hold on to your hats, 273 miles per hour.
Now, that's what I call pushing the limits. And speaking of pushing limits, I think it was around this time that Koenigsegg was working on something even crazier, the 1.1.
Ah, the 1.1. It gets its name from its power-to-weight ratio, 1 horsepower for every kilogram of weight.
That's nuts.
Pure engineering genius.
Okay, now let's come back down to earth at least a little bit. Let's talk about the Audi R8, a car that's often praised for its, well, relative affordability and everyday drivability.
The R8 is a great example of a supercar that can be enjoyed both on the track and as a daily driver.
Right. When it came out in 2006, it was a real head-turner. With its quattro all-wheel drive and a choice of V8 or V10 engine, it was a performance car that you could actually live with.
Comfortable enough for the daily commute, but still capable of delivering that adrenaline rush when you wanted it.
Totally. But, reading through the comments, it's clear that the whole idea of a dream car is, It's pretty subjective.
Absolutely.
There was this one commenter who said their ultimate dream car was get this, a lifted Chevy Silverado.
A truck.
Yeah. They argue that a powerful truck is way more practical than, a 16-cylinder supercar like the Veyron.
Well, they have a point. It really comes down to individual needs and desires.
For sure. And sometimes those desires lean more towards practicality and functionality. Okay, speaking of fulfilling aspirations, let's talk about the Lamborghini Aventador, which, well, this thing is just pure aggression on wheels.
Oh, absolutely. The Aventador took over from the Murcielago as Lamborghini's flagship supercar in 2011.
And it definitely lived up to the hype. With a 6.5-liter V12 engine pumping out up to 770 horsepower, this car could go from 0 to 60 in, under 3 seconds?
You got it. It's a breathtaking display of power.
Definitely. And it seems like the Aventador Roadster SVJ, with its open top and all that extreme performance, was a real favorite among the commenters.
I can see why. It's a car that's meant to be seen and heard.
For sure. All right, next up we have a member of the Holy Trinity of hybrid hypercars. The McLaren P1.
Ah, the P1, a true technological marvel.
Seriously. This thing came out in 2013, and it was a game changer, combining a twin turbocharged V8 engine with an electric motor.
For a combined output of 903 horsepower?
903, that's insane. And it could hit 60 in the 2.8 seconds.
It was in a league of its own.
Absolutely. And the comments, they were all abuzz with speculation about a potential fully electric version of the P1.
Which is fascinating, right?
Yeah.
It shows that even in the world of supercars, there's a growing interest in the potential of electric powertrains.
Totally. Okay, from hybrid power, let's switch gears to Italian artistry. We're talking about the Pagani Huayra.
Now there's a car that looks like it belongs in a museum.
No kidding.
Yeah.
This thing it's a masterpiece of design.
The Huayra was unveiled in 2011, and it's powered by a Mercedes-AMG twin-turbocharged 6.0-liter V12 engine.
Okay, so it has the looks, but can it perform?
Oh, absolutely. We're talking over 700 horsepower, depending on the variant.
Wow. It's like a work of art that can also blow your doors off.
Exactly.
And, some people even argued that the Huayra is actually better than its predecessor, the Pagani Zonda.
It's a testament to Pagani's commitment to pushing the boundaries of both design and performance.
For sure. Okay, now for a car that needs no introduction, the Aston Martin DB5.
The DB5. Forever linked to a certain British secret agent.
James Bond.
Precisely.
This car, it just oozes classic style, sophistication, and, well, a little bit of danger.
It was produced from 1963 to 1965, and it's become a true automotive icon.
No kidding. And one commenter even called it a gentleman's car.
It's a car that exudes both class and charisma.
Absolutely. And speaking of class, we can't forget about the Rolls-Royce Phantom.
Now that is a car that embodies luxury.
It's in a league of its own, with its exquisite craftsmanship, that whisper-quiet V12 engine and the handcrafted interior. The Phantom is it's the ultimate symbol of success.
Absolutely. One commenter even said that it's a car that's beyond comparison. And you know what? I think they might be right.
Yeah. It's the kind of car that makes a statement wherever it goes. Okay,
Yeah.
before we move on to some of the other contenders for the top 10, let's take a quick detour. Let's talk about a couple of newcomers that were making waves in the hypercar world. First up, the Bugatti Veyron Supersport.
This was Bugatti taking the Veyron and, well, turning everything up to 11.
Seriously, this thing had 1,200 horsepower.
And over 1,100 pound-feet of torque.
And it could go from 0 to 62 miles per hour in, get this, 2.5 seconds.
Absolutely mind-bending.
And back in 2010, it set a new world speed record for road cars.
It reached an incredible 267.856 miles per hour.
Talk about pushing the limits of what's possible. All right, then there's this true outsider, the Devil 16.
The Devil 16 is a bit of a mystery.
It was still in development at the time, but it was claiming some pretty outrageous specs.
A claimed top speed of 350 miles per hour.
350? I mean, come on, is that even possible?
It's certainly audacious, but, there were some caveats.
Like what?
Well, it wasn't street legal, so experiencing its full potential would be limited to the track.
Yeah, that makes sense. But still, the Devil 16 captured people's imaginations. It was this almost mythical car that promised to revolutionize the hypercar world.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about some of the other contenders that were just shy of making the top 10. First up, the Ford GT.
The Ford GT, a modern reimagining of the legendary GT40 race car.
This car, with its latest iteration released in 2017, has really captured the hearts of enthusiasts. It's got stunning design, impressive performance, and a legacy that goes back to one of motorsport's most iconic eras.
You can't go wrong with a car that has that kind of history behind it.
Totally. And its twin-turbocharged V6 engine delivers 660 horsepower.
It can hit 60 in about 3 seconds.
Not too shabby. But I think what really sets the Ford GT apart is its emotional appeal.
There's a certain charisma to it.
Yeah. One commenter even said that the GT has emotion, passion, excitement, and attributes that are almost pornographic.
Well, that's one way to put it.
Hey, I'm just quoting the source material. But I think it speaks to the passion that this car evokes. It's a car that speaks to the soul of an enthusiast.
Absolutely. All right, next up, we have a car that embodies exclusivity. The Aston Martin 177.
A very rare beast indeed.
Only 77 units were ever produced, which makes it a true collector's item.
And it came with a hefty price tag. We're talking $7 million.
Yeah, this was one of the most expensive cars ever produced at the time of its release. But it had the performance to back it up.
A naturally aspirated 7.3-liter V12 engine generating 750 horsepower.
And a top speed of 220 miles per hour. Not bad for a car that looks like a piece of art. Okay, now for something a little different, the Nissan Quest.
A minivan.
Yeah, and believe it or not, this thing had its own dedicated following in the comments.
Well, it is a very practical vehicle.
Right. One commenter even talked about how much they loved their Quest. They mentioned its spaciousness, practicality, and comfortable ride.
It's a good reminder that dream cars come in all shapes and sizes.
For sure. And sometimes those dreams are about family road trips and hauling kids and groceries. Okay, back to Lamborghini. And this time we're looking at the Reventon.
Another limited edition masterpiece.
Definitely. Only 20 coupes were ever made.
It's got this incredible design inspired by fighter jets.
Yeah, it's super aggressive looking.
And under the hood, you've got a 6.5-liter V12 engine borrowed from the Murcielago LP640, pumping out 650 horsepower.
And a top speed of 211 miles per hour.
Not too shabby.
Not at all. All right, from limited editions, let's get back to supercar royalty with the Pagani Zonda.
The car that really put Pagani on the map.
It's got that same blend of design and engineering that we saw in the Huayra, those flowing lines and that powerful Mercedes-AMG V12 engine.
Some variants could even hit top speeds close to 220 miles per hour.
Incredible. And, one commenter even called the Zonda perfection on wheels.
High praise indeed.
Well-deserved. All right, now for a car that many consider a true legend, the McLaren F1.
This is one for the history books.
The F1 was produced from 1992 to 1998, and it was groundbreaking in its design and performance. It's still considered one of the greatest supercars ever made.
It's got a naturally aspirated BMW S702 V12 engine generating 618 horsepower.
And it held the record for the world's fastest production car for several years.
A top speed of 240 miles per hour.
240, wow. The McLaren F1 really changed the game. Okay, next up, another pioneer in the world of hybrid hypercars, the Porsche 918 Spyder.
This one was all about combining performance with efficiency.
It came out in 2013, and it was a real showcase for Porsche's engineering prowess. It had this mid-mounted 4.6-liter V8 engine paired with electric motors.
For a total system output of 887 horsepower.
887. That's just, I don't even know what to say anymore.
And it could go from 0 to 60 in a blistering 2.2 seconds.
Incredible. The 918 Spyder, it really was a glimpse into the future of high-performance motoring. Okay, now let's talk about a car that's, well, it's known for its raw power and exceptional handling. The Porsche Carrera GT.
A true driver's car.
The Carrera GT was produced from 2004 to 2007, and it's powered by a 5.7-liter V10 engine that produces 603 horsepower.
And it could hit a top speed of 205 miles per hour.
But what's really impressive about this car is its versatility.
One commenter even mentioned how comfortable it was to drive in a variety of settings.
Yeah, they talked about taking it from city traffic to winding mountain roads, and it handled it all with ease.
Porsche really nailed it with this one.
They did. Okay, let's head back to Italy for one more, the Ferrari 458.
Ah, the 458, known for its thrilling driving experience.
And that glorious exhaust note.
It's powered by a high-revving 4.5-liter V8 engine that produces 570 horsepower.
And that sound, it just sends shivers down your spine.
It's a true Ferrari through and through.
Absolutely. Okay, let's shift gears to an American icon, the Ford Mustang.
The Mustang, a symbol of power and performance for decades.
It's a car that's been featured in countless movies, songs, you name it.
And it's still going strong.
It is. And it comes in a range of options, from fuel-efficient four-cylinders all the way up to those powerful V8s.
There's a Mustang for everyone.
Definitely. And one commenter mentioned that those V8 Mustangs are, well, they're a dream for many enthusiasts.
It's that classic American muscle.
And it never gets old.
Yeah.
Okay, now for another minivan that deserves a shout-out, the Dodge Grand Caravan.
A minivan. Again.
Hey, don't underestimate the appeal of a good minivan.
You're right. They're incredibly practical and versatile vehicles.
Exactly. And the Grand Caravan has been a popular choice for families for years. It's got a spacious interior, a comfortable ride, and those innovative features like the stow-and-go seating.
It's all about functionality and family-friendly transportation.
And sometimes those are the qualities that matter most in a dream car. Okay, let's sit back in time and appreciate another American classic, the Ford Thunderbird.
The Thunderbird has a rich history spanning multiple generations.
Those two-seater convertible versions are especially sought after by collectors.
They embody a bygone era of American motoring.
And they still look amazing today. Okay, next up, a true American muscle car legend, the Ford Mustang Shelby GT500.
Now, this is a beast of a car.
This thing is a testament to raw power and performance. It's got a supercharged V8 engine cranking out 760 horsepower.
And it can go from 0 to 60 in around 3.5 seconds.
That's seriously fast.
The Shelby GT500 is an icon of American muscle.
And it continues to inspire awe and excitement in car enthusiasts of all ages. Okay, one last trip to Italy for this part of the deep dive. We're talking about the Ferrari F40.
Ah, the F40, released in 1987 to celebrate Ferrari's 40th anniversary.
And many consider it to be one of the greatest Ferraris ever made.
It's got a twin-turbocharged V8 engine that produced 471 horsepower. That was a remarkable figure for its time.
And it could hit a top speed of 201 miles per hour.
The F40 was a game changer.
It really was. It pushed the boundaries of supercar performance and set the stage for future generations of Ferraris. Okay, last but not least, the Lamborghini Gallardo.
This was Lamborghini's best-selling model for many years.
It's got those sharp angles, that engaging driving experience, and of course, that unmistakable Lamborghini V10 engine sound.
The Gallardo was a more accessible entry point into the world of Lamborghini ownership.
Which is great. It meant that more people could experience the thrill of driving one of these amazing Italian machines. So there you have it, a whirlwind tour of some of the most iconic and desirable cars ever created.
Wow, from hypercars to classics, this list is it's quite a ride. But as we've seen, it's about more than just the cars, right?
Absolutely. It's about what these cars represent to people, the dreams and aspirations. And the comments from the Top 10's users, they really highlighted that.
They did. You see this whole mix of perspectives on what makes a car, well, truly desirable.
Exactly. And one thing that came up a lot was this idea of attainable versus unattainable dreams.
Oh, yeah, like the Bugatti Veyron, right?
Yeah.
It's an incredible feat of engineering.
Totally. But let's be real, most of us could only dream of owning one.
It's a multi-million-dollar hypercar. But, does that make it any less appealing?
That's a good question. I mean, it's still an amazing machine, even if it's out of reach for most of us.
Right. And a lot of the commenters, they saw these unattainable cars as a source of inspiration. Like, they represent a level of excellence to aspire to.
I get that. It's like, even if you can't own it, it's still something to strive for.
Exactly. And then on the other hand, you have cars like the Ford Mustang, which are, well, much more attainable.
Right. The Mustang it's an American icon, and for a lot of people, it's a dream car that's actually achievable.
Something they could realistically see themselves owning one day.
Yeah. And what's interesting is how the list includes cars that kind of challenge the traditional image of a dream car, like the Nissan Quest minivan.
The minivan as a dream car.
I know, right? It's not exactly a head-turner.
But it taps into a different set of dreams. Dreams of family adventures, practicality, creating memories.
Exactly. It's about living your dream life, whatever that looks like. And for some people, that dream involves, having a reliable and spacious vehicle for their family.
It reframes the whole idea of a dream car.
It does.
Yeah.
It's not just about speed and luxury anymore.
It's about finding the car that fits your life and helps you achieve your goals.
Absolutely. And speaking of strong connections, we can't ignore the age-old rivalry that popped up in the comments. Ferrari versus Lamborghini.
Ah, yes, the classic debate.
Ferrari with its elegance and racing heritage.
And Lamborghini with its raw power and and bold design.
It's like one commenter said, choosing between a tailored suit and a roaring beast in a leather jacket.
Exactly. And it's not just about aesthetics and performance either. It's about who you are, what you value, how you want to be perceived.
It gets pretty personal.
It does. And that's what makes this whole exploration so fascinating. It's a glimpse into people's dreams, aspirations, even their self-image.
Totally. It's about the stories these cars tell and how those stories connect with us on a personal level.
And some of the most captivating stories come from those cars that push the boundaries of design and engineering, like the Pagani Zonda and Huayra.
Oh, yeah. Those cars they're like works of art.
The Zonda, with those flowing lines and the powerful Mercedes AMG V12 engine, it's a true icon. And the Huayra, it's like something out of the future.
Got those radical looks and that crazy active aerodynamics.
Yeah.
It's like it's from another planet.
It's amazing how Pagani has carved out this unique space for themselves in a world dominated by, the big names like Ferrari and Lamborghini. They've really focused on craftsmanship and artistic expression.
It's a good reminder that there's always room for innovation and creativity, even in the world of supercars.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about a car that represents a blend of history and adventure, the Aston Martin DB5.
Ah, the DB5. Forever linked to James Bond.
It's the ultimate gentleman's car.
Sophistication, a touch of danger, and a whole lot of cool.
It's the kind of car that makes you feel like you're on a secret mission, even if you're just, running errands.
Absolutely. It's got that timeless elegance. No wonder. It's one of the most sought-after classic cars in the world.
Totally. And on the other end of the spectrum, representing pure luxury, we have the Rolls-Royce Phantom.
Now that is a car that makes a statement.
It's in a class of its own.
Yeah.
The Phantom it's the ultimate symbol of success and refinement. It's got the handcrafted interior, the whisper quiet V12 engine, that iconic Spirit of Ecstasy hood ornament.
It's designed for ultimate comfort and luxury.
It's like you're being chauffeured in a palace on wheels.
Exactly. Every detail is meticulously crafted.
Okay, let's talk about a car that represents performance and technological innovation. The McLaren P1.
The P1, a true technological marvel.
This hybrid hypercar it's incredible, combining that twin turbocharged V8 with an electric motor.
Generating over 900 horsepower.
Yeah. And a 0 to 60 time of under 3 seconds. It's a force to be reckoned with.
But it's not just about brute force. The P1 is also a showcase for McLaren's expertise in aerodynamics, lightweight materials, and hybrid technology.
It really pushes the boundaries of what's possible in a road car.
And it points to a future where high performance and sustainability can go hand in hand. And, a lot of commenters were really excited about the potential for a fully electric version of the P1.
Which is interesting. It shows that even in the world of hypercars, people are starting to think about the possibilities of electric powertrains.
For sure.
Okay, speaking of pushing boundaries, the Porsche Carrera GT is another car that really stands out.
The Carrera GT, a legend in its own right.
It's got that screaming V10 engine, the exceptional handling. It's a car that demands your respect.
But what's remarkable is that despite its performance capabilities, it was also praised for its versatility.
Right. People were talking about how they could drive it comfortably in all sorts of settings.
From city streets to mountain roads.
It's a testament to Porsche's ability to create cars that are both incredibly capable and surprisingly practical.
It's a tough balance to strike.
It is. Okay, let's talk about another Italian stallion that captured the hearts of enthusiasts. The Ferrari 458.
The 458, a true driver's car.
It was known for its thrilling driving experience and that incredible exhaust note.
That high-revving V8 engine producing 570 horsepower. It's a sound that will stay with you.
It really embodies the passion and the excitement of the Ferrari brand.
For sure.
Okay, let's switch gears again back to an American icon, the Ford Mustang.
The Mustang, a true legend.
And a symbol of power, and it's a car that continues to be a dream for so many enthusiasts.
Especially those V8 powered models. There's something about that classic American muscle that really resonates with people.
Absolutely. It's about freedom, power, the open road.
It's a car that's inspired countless songs, movies, memories.
And it's still going strong today. But, let's not forget that dream cars come in all shapes and sizes. And for some people, a dream car is about practicality and functionality. That's where the minivans come in, like the Dodge Grand Caravan.
The Grand Caravan. It might not be the first car that comes to mind when you think dream car, but
But it's a workhorse. It's designed for families, for hauling kids and groceries and all the stuff that comes with life.
and it does a great job of that.
It does. And it showcases how a dream car can be the one that really fits your lifestyle and your needs.
Whether that's tearing up a racetrack in a supercar or comfortably transporting your family.
Exactly. Okay, speaking of classics, the Ford Thunderbird is another car that evokes a sense of nostalgia and timeless style.
The Thunderbird, it's got such a rich history.
Those two-seater convertible versions, those are really special.
They represent a bygone era of American motoring.
They do. They make you want to roll down the windows and just cruise. But okay, for those who crave raw power and performance, we have the Ford Mustang Shelby GT500.
Oh, the Shelby GT500, that's a serious muscle car.
It's a beast. It's got that supercharged V8 engine pumping out, 760 horsepower?
It's the kind of car that gets your adrenaline pumping.
Absolutely. Okay, one last trip to Italy for this part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the Ferrari F40.
The F40, a true legend, released in 1987 to celebrate Ferrari's 40th anniversary.
And many consider it to be one of the greatest Ferraris ever made.
It's got that twin turbocharged V8 engine, lightweight design. It was an absolute beast on the track.
It really pushed the boundaries of supercar performance.
And it set a benchmark for future generations of Ferraris.
It did. Okay, finally, let's talk about the Lamborghini Gallardo.
The Gallardo, this was Lamborghini's best-selling model for many years.
And it was a great entry point into the world of Lamborghini ownership.
It had those sharp angles, that engaging driving experience, and of course that unmistakable Lamborghini V10 engine sound.
It really helped to solidify Lamborghini's position as a leader in the supercar world.
And it inspired a whole new generation of enthusiasts. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, it's clear that these cars, they ignite something special in us.
They do. They're not just, modes of transportation. They're expressions of our dreams, our aspirations, our personalities.
Exactly. So as you consider this list, we encourage you to think about what resonates with you. What is it about these cars that captures your imagination?
What does your dream car say about you? We'll explore these questions further when we come back for the final part of our deep dive. Welcome back to our deep dive into dream cars. We've been talking about these amazing machines, but it's clear they represent so much more than, just horsepower and sleek lines.
Absolutely. It's fascinating how cars have become such cultural icons. They pop up in movies, music, art, you name it. They're woven into our collective imagination.
It's true. Think about all those action movies with crazy car chases, or the hero making a grand entrance in some stylish sports car.
Right. The cars almost become characters themselves. They add to the drama and excitement.
And you can't forget about music either. I mean, in genres like rock and roll or hip hop, cars often represent freedom, escape, even rebellion.
Definitely. They evoke a sense of movement, of breaking free from the ordinary.
And then there's the influence of car design on other creative fields. I mean, those sleek lines and curves we see in cars, they often inspire designers in fashion, furniture, even architecture.
It's true. It's like those design elements, they transcend the automotive world.
They do. Okay, but let's go back to those comments from the top 10's users. One theme that kept coming up was this idea of attainable versus unattainable dreams.
Right, like the difference between dreaming of a Bugatti Veyron, which is, a technological marvel that most people could never afford,
versus something like a Ford Mustang, which is a more achievable dream for many.
Exactly. The Veyron, it symbolizes pushing the boundaries of what's possible. But for most of us, owning one is, well, it's just a fantasy.
But does that make the dream less valid?
Not at all. I think a lot of commenters saw these unattainable dream cars as a source of inspiration,
Yeah.
They represent a level of excellence to aspire to.
I see what you mean. It's like, even if you can't own that specific car,
Yeah.
It's still something to work towards to motivate you.
Exactly. And then you have those cars like the Mustang, which represent a more grounded dream.
Something you could actually see yourself driving one day.
Right. And what about the minivans that made the list? Like the Nissan Quest.
I know, right? It's not your typical dream car.
But they represent a different kind of dream,
Yeah.
right? A dream focused on family, on practicality.
Yeah. It's about creating memories with loved ones, having a reliable vehicle to get you where you need to go.
It really shows how the definition of a dream car is so personal.
Absolutely. And those comments about the minivans, they showed a genuine enthusiasm for what those vehicles represent.
Yeah. It's not always about speed or status. Sometimes it's about having a car that fits your lifestyle and your values.
Exactly. Okay, and speaking of strong connections, we saw a lot of debate in the comments about that classic rivalry, Ferrari versus Lamborghini.
Oh, yeah. That's a debate that will probably never be settled.
Ferrari with its elegance and racing heritage.
Yeah, and Lamborghini with its raw power and bold styling.
It's like choosing between two completely different worlds.
And it's a choice that says a lot about you, about your personality, your taste.
And that's what makes exploring these lists so fascinating. It's not just about the cars themselves, it's about what they represent to people.
It's about understanding how people connect with these machines, what draws them to a certain brand or a specific model.
Yeah. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of dream cars, we leave you with this question. What does your dream car say about you?
Think about it. What car captures your imagination? What does that say about your aspirations, your values?
Whether it's a supercar, a classic muscle car, an off-roader, or even a minivan, there's a dream car out there for everyone. So keep dreaming, keep exploring, and most importantly, never stop chasing those automotive desires.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey.